Just looking at the thumbnail and title of this video, you might think that I am for some reason a hater of Inside the NBA, but that could not be further from the truth. We've known for some time now that the NBA was most likely going to be moving on from TNT, and in case you're living under a rock, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. The NBA decided to take Amazon Prime's offer over TNT, even though TNT allegedly matched the same offer that Amazon put up. Yes, there's a lot of different, interesting, weird little facts and stories about what is happening right now in the NBA and how everything is going to really change after next season. But the biggest change that we first need to talk about is, of course, inside the NBA. And why do I think this is going to be something that is good for the league? I feel like I should start off with some of the facts that some people don't seem to actually know, or maybe they didn't hear about when they happened, with the first one kind of being the bigger story, and that's that Charles Barkley said himself next season is going to be his last on TV. No matter what happened, even if the NBA were to stay on TNT and they were to keep on going on Inside the NBA, he made it very clear that next year will be his last. And as much as I want to sit here and say that maybe he was just saying that for some sort of leverage in a contract or negotiation or deal, maybe he was working things out with Amazon Prime and they weren't giving him what he wanted, as logical as those things might seem to be, at the same time, it doesn't really make sense as to why he would do that, because he already has an opt-out clause on his contract with TNT, so it's not like he's trying to get out of that deal. I guess maybe it does make a little bit of sense if he's just trying to get more money from Amazon, but I'm not sure if he's able to negotiate with them while under the TNT deal. But all the speculation aside, I'm going to take what Charles Barkley said very seriously right now and say for the rest of this video that Charles Barkley is going to be retiring after next year. That's what we're running with here. And then you have Ernie Johnson, arguably the most important character or person on Inside the NBA, who has made it very clear he is not leaving TNT. He said the same thing. No matter what the NBA does, he is going to stay with TNT because that's really where he built his career. He has been there for so long that for someone like Ernie, who also commentates on other sports as well, it doesn't make sense for him just to follow the NBA. For him, he values the loyalty to the program and network that he has been with for so long. So Ernie is staying there no matter what, which really leaves us with Shaq and Kenny. And for them, we're not sure if they have opt-out clauses on their contracts to leave TNT. I'm assuming they do because Charles Barkley had it and they're all basketball related analysts. And then there's TNT themselves. And not a lot of people know that they were actually the first ones to have a chance at re-signing their current contract with the NBA. Because when their media rights deal expires, because they are the active media network program that's running the NBA, they get first dibs. And you know what the CEO or some executive for TNT said about the NBA? Well, they said that they don't need the NBA. Why the fuck would you even say that? And that was a very clear sign that the NBA had to go look elsewhere for other programs and networks to take over their sport. And well, that's why they landed on Amazon Prime. So that right there is kind of the quick notes as to where we are and why we're in this situation right now. And so now I can really get into why I think this is a good deal for the NBA. And I'm going to actually start off with the same thing we started with, and that's Inside the NBA. If the NBA were to stick with TNT and Inside the NBA went for another 11 years, because that's how long the contract is, you can't tell me that we wouldn't see this group just slowly fizzle and fade away and be replaced by other people. With Charles Barkley retiring, that's already one of the most important people on the show. To me personally, he's my second, main character on the show besides Ernie Johnson. With Charles Barkley gone, this is already a different crew. This is already not the same vibes and memories and era that we have known for so long. So starting on the 2025 season, things would have already been different. And you're telling me that Ernie Johnson is going to be broadcasting for another 11 years? I don't want to speak for him, but I feel like that is kind of a crazy assumption to have. I feel like Kenny and Shaq would still be there, but in my opinion, over the next 11 years, if they were to stay with TNT, things would have changed either way. People would have been gone, other people would have come in, it would still be different. So the fact that next season is really going to be the last year that we know of Inside the NBA, I feel like it's going to be the right way to send off the show. We're going to get the most unhinged, crazy moments from Charles Barkley and Shaq and Kenny and Ernie, all because they know it's the last time that they're going to be on this network and on this show. It is going to be the best season we have ever seen. Whereas if they were to stay with TNT, things just would have slowly fizzled out and it would have been a really depressing, long, boring period of time. But hold on, don't get too upset yet, because Amazon Prime has said themselves they are looking to buy out Inside the NBA. They want to bring over that same exact cast and bring it over onto their network and see if they will continue to do their show. And if that actually happens, awesome. I really hope it does. That is the best thing that could ever happen to this sport. But like I just got done saying earlier in the video, Ernie Johnson is staying with TNT and Charles Barkley is retiring after next year. So I think for Amazon Prime, we are just going to be seeing Shaq and Kenny as our main hosts alongside some other people that they'll probably bring in. So holy shit, that is my explanation around Inside the NBA, what's next for them, how I feel about it. And I'll let you guys go down in the comments and talk about Inside the NBA, what you think, how you feel about my take and my, overall opinion about what's happening next, because I feel like that's a hot take, but there's also a lot more to go over, especially with Amazon Prime and what's next just for the NBA, not related to Inside the NBA. One of the biggest things that I hope Amazon brings, I am praying to God, is that they record and live stream these games in 1080 or 4K quality. Maybe it's just because I'm a basketball content creator and I download a lot of these clips and use them in videos, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. But the fact we are in the big year of 2024 and the NBA is still streaming almost all of their games in 720p, oh my God, it makes me want to rip my fucking eyes out. Like I seriously cannot describe how much it affects the viewing experience. Like the only time I will ever see a game in 1080p is if it's a fucking Lakers home game because it's the damn Lakers, or it's the NBA finals. That is the only time. So if we get even one game in 4K quality, I will personally go to the Amazon CEO and give head to every single employee there. Besides the quality of the streams though, I know that a lot of people just aren't happy that it's on Amazon Prime in the first place. At the same time, I also don't really understand, because for me, I had to spend $80 every single month on YouTube TV. Actually, I didn't, my mom did, so thank you to my mom. But I technically have to spend $80 per month just to watch the nationally televised games, or I have to spend all the money on League Pass as well, whatever it is. If anything, League Pass is more expensive. And if you were to get regular cable, I'm not familiar with those prices, but I am pretty sure it's around the same price as YouTube TV, if not more expensive. So why are we complaining about everything moving to a streaming service where it's like 15 bucks and you can get every single game? Like why is that a downside? I'm genuinely asking that as a question because I feel like I'm missing something with the way everyone is complaining right now. So let me know in the comments, maybe I'm wrong about that as well. The one thing I have heard from people that watch live sports on Amazon Prime is just that the overall like UI and setup is bad. Like you can't rewind the game. It buffers a lot and there's audio issues. I'm hoping that that's not the case with the NBA, because I already have enough technical issues just trying to watch this fucking sport on League Pass itself. But then again, I personally haven't watched any live sports on Amazon Prime. I don't really watch the NFL or NHL or whatever other sports they have, so I can't really say that I've had problems with it before. And then there's probably the biggest side of all of this, which is that the NBA also signed with NBC, which means we are getting this legendary song back. Go ahead and play it real quick. I mean, you can't tell me that isn't the best part out of all of this. So yeah, that's really all the takes and opinions I have when talking about Inside the NBA or just Prime overall taking over the NBA. I don't think it's a bad thing. Personally, I am excited to see what they can do with the sport, if the broadcasts are better, if all that stuff is good, and also what kind of crew they bring in, because it could also just be the start of a new era in NBA basketball, even though I do think we're going to see Shaq, Kevin Harlan, and Kevin the Jet Smith still move over to, Prime. But that's just my prediction. Leave all of your opinions and comments down below. I read and respond to everyone. It's my favorite part, seeing what you guys have to say and seeing whether or not you guys agree or disagree with me, because I feel like this video right here might be one that gets a lot of different reception. So yeah, be sure to check out one of these videos up on the screen as well, and subscribe. Like the video, helps out a ton. I really would appreciate it. And once again, I want to make it very clear, I love Inside the NBA. I just think it's time to restart a new era. It's no hate towards them at all. I wish they could stay forever, but unfortunately, that's not really how it works. Okay, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Later.